So hello everybody, how are you doing? We are sitting again in a car which is of course not an Autobahn race car, that's for sure, but a car that I chose for a reason as a test car. You probably remember that we drove the Ford Ranger Raptor, the new model, and you also know that Volkswagen and Ford have a cooperation and building those two cars together in South Africa, which isn't a bad thing at all, because I think the Ranger already was a very good car, specifically of course the Raptor with the petrol engine and the good sound, but this one is more or less the more luxurious, more conservative version. I would even say in some parts even higher quality. And that means that we have the PanAmericana Amarok with the V6 diesel. That is also a change to the Ranger that you cannot get, at least in Germany, cannot get right now in the regular version with the V6 diesel. You're always getting the 2.2 liter diesel. So that's an advantage for the Amarok. And this is a very, very good Autobahn car. We drove one day from Hanover to Munich. The next day we drove back. In about 5.5 hours we covered more than 650 kilometers. And it's a very comfortable ride, and also the fuel consumption was, for a utility vehicle in the end, quite good. But without further talking, of course you still want to see how good the acceleration number is. The car is limited to 180, so that means we're doing 100 to 180 on the country road, 0 to 100. It's not a race car, but still you want to get a feeling, how does the car sound, how does it accelerate, how is the shifting, etc. and also of course the noise, the tire noise and the wind noise at higher speeds. And that's why we're doing those tests with those cars as well. Something that is also very interesting and a smart move from Volkswagen press car department or whatever, they configured the car that the PanAmericana does not have the all-terrain tires. You can get the all-terrain tires on this car, but those has the street tires, and I think they're a lot better option. First of all, because they have better acceleration and less fuel consumption, but secondly, driving in the wet with those all-terrain tires isn't perfect at all. So I would always recommend, if you don't really need it, go for the street tires, and it really makes sense. And the car is so much quieter, also compared to the Ranger Raptor that had the all-terrain tires. So we're kicking it off with the country road acceleration. Actually, we are going to try two modes. I'm usually driving in 2H, so which probably means highway, rear-wheel drive, two-wheel drive. And then I will also try the 4A, which means automatic all-wheel drive, which could enhance the traction. Let's see if that works. Launch control is not really possible in this one here. Yeah, so that was a 9.77 seconds. I believe that this is not the perfect road to do this test, but let's try it in 4A. Turn around, try it in 4A. So that was a 9.4, which is definitely quicker. We're still a few tenths away from what the factory is claiming. I don't know where the change is. I'm driving in normal, and maybe you can write in the comments if there is a mode that you can launch even quicker in like dirt mode or something like that. But nevertheless, I think we won't get it faster than the 9 seconds or something like that. Let's head out onto the Autobahn and see how fast it performs there. That's pretty amazing. The car runs 200 kilometers on speedo for such a big pickup truck, and yeah, the pull, let's say excluding the last 10 kilometers maybe per hour, is quite good. Honestly, this is a very good Autobahn performance. You heard and seen that this is a very smooth powertrain. The gear shifts of the 10-speed automatic are very smooth. The 6-cylinder diesel is not very present from an acoustic perspective. It's very smooth. Also from a fuel efficiency perspective, I'm quite happy with that, because even on longer Autobahn turns, you always get between 10 to 11 liter of diesel, which I think is totally fine considering the weight and the size of the car, and that you're also doing faster driving. And of course, all the off-road capabilities that we cannot even test on our format are still there. So I would say, if you don't want to pay the price of a Volkswagen Touareg, but say you still want to pull a horse trailer and yeah, still want to drive with a family, this car isn't too bad at all. You should consider it.